Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald bringing you a reading for Thursday, July 17th, 2025. I do feel compelled to mention here that when you come across this message and you hear this message, that it is perfect timing for you and your circumstance or situation. Out of the traditional Rider-Waite deck today, we have the Eight of Pentacles, and this came out in the reverse, but for the purpose of you being able to look at the card and really get your own intuitive vibe from it, I did put it in the upright. But I do feel with this card that there's a little bit of a standstill coming in for you, where you could maybe feel as though things could stagnate. You're feeling the energy slow down. You're feeling like things are dull. Maybe you're bored with your routine. But the message with this is that where there's a will, there's a way. And so if there's something that you want, you've got to know that you want it, and you got to be willing to put the work in for it. And I feel like maybe you're in a space where you feel superior to others. And maybe, in fact, you really are. I do feel like you could be very well versed in a topic. You're very well rounded. But because you're not outwardly expressing that knowledge or putting that into practice, other people are not experiencing that from you. And so there's a potential for you to be underestimated. And so with this, I am drawn here to the yellow path in the card that goes out to the castle. And so with this yellow path, it reminds me of like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz and the yellow brick road. And with the yellow brick road, I really feel like this is bringing in some adventure. It could require you to go on an adventure, or it could simply mean throughout that adventure you do a lot of self-discovery, introspection, reflection, and really getting to the root of why you feel this way. Why is this coming up for you, and why now? So maybe you're not as committed to working for it. Maybe you're not even sure if you want it, because I think like beneath it all, you could probably feel like the rules just don't apply to me. And this is like a feeling like you deserve it. You've got that worthy part down. You know you're worthy of this, and you know that you deserve this. And so perhaps you're feeling as though you don't need to take the necessary steps and actions to get that like other people. And so it's a little bit of a feeling of entitlement. And so the standard process that it takes to achieve things normally, you know, or a certain path that we would take to achieve those things, you can alter that when you're stepping aside and creating room for the universe or God, whatever you prefer, to show up for you, right? Like you create this space for spirit to show up for you when you are focusing your intentions, taking inspired action, and doing it in the way that you feel called to when you feel inspired to take those actions. And so this is a way that we can really focus our energy. And this is not a time to become sidetracked by what you want it to look like, or what you think it should look like, or how you thought it would come in for you, right? Because it's probably not going to come in the way that you want it to, or how you think it should, and it will still show up just as easily if you were to take a step back and allow that magic to kind of come in and step in and create beautiful things for you in your life. So we got to start somewhere, and you know, sometimes we have to do things that we don't want to do, and sometimes we have to work our way up to the top. We won't automatically start at the top. And it's important too to be mindful that there could be somebody in your surroundings that may not necessarily have your best intentions at heart, okay? Where they could maybe attempt to provoke you to get a reaction, or they could be seeming like they're interested in what you're saying and what you're doing, and that they're on board and supportive, when in fact they may not be, or if they are, it's because they have a personal agenda that they would like to achieve. So just be mindful of that as you move through this. But ultimately, this standstill, whether it's created because of procrastination or being overwhelmed or feeling burnt out, it's a time for you to take that step back, really reflect on, like, why did I get started in this situation to begin with? Whether it's a work situation, whether it's a situationship with love, whether it is an actual relationship that you're in, what happened that propelled you down that path initially anyhow? Where did this passion come from to begin with? So you may want to take time to go back to where everything began. So if it's a relationship, are you going to go back to where you had your first date and try to rekindle that? If it's a job, perhaps you need to take a class, find education to kind of back up the knowledge that you actually already have. Because once you do that, it could really put you in line for the promotion that you want. You could shake up your day-to-day and what things look like and what you're experiencing, so you feel more inspired again just by taking that step. So there is potential here all the way around to create something different and do things differently. So with relationships specifically with this card, I feel like there's a little bit of lackluster, so to speak. Things could feel non-inspired, pretty dull, right? And maybe it's you that's not putting the effort in anymore because of that, because you're feeling like it's become a chore or it's become mundane, and maybe you're questioning even the other party's intentions, right? And so this is where you could extend an olive branch, so to speak, if there's been some troubles. A small gesture could really go a long way in reviving some of that romance, and that could be done with like a simple sit-down meal, having open communication about how you really feel, or you could gift that person with a day of doing what they love. Like, you guys go on a date together and do those things. I don't know why specifically I'm feeling like it's golf, but I feel like it's golf. But there's also something to be said about trying something new together, where you're challenging one another and seeing how you are able to interact and overcome those obstacles together. And that could shift the energy enough to compel you to do more things that are new and fun, and really try to bring that back on track. But I do feel like this is something that can happen where you'll be back on track in no time. So I do so hope that this resonates for you. And as always, if it does, please let me know in the comments below how this is working out and showing up for you. And if you feel called to share with someone you feel like they might benefit from hearing this message, I would appreciate you doing so. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you. Take care.